Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Hartej Sawhney. He's the founder and CEO of Zokyo to discuss token economics and the intersection of Web3 and cybersecurity. Hartej, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. And Zokyo is experienced in tackling some of the most challenging problems with an entrepreneurial spirit. Explain to us what that means and what the mission of Zokyo is.
Yeah, so we have been pioneers on the intersection of blockchain and Web3 and the cybersecurity industry. So we have been focusing on the approach of being ethical hackers that have the incentive to focus on securing the Web3 blockchain industry, starting with primarily auditing the smart contracts and the code behind each and every cryptocurrency and the blockchain protocol behind it. So it's been very essential to us to incentivize the world's best ethical hackers to actually give priority to the cryptocurrency industry. And so we sit on the intersection.
What are some of those challenges that are associated with Web3?
So the challenges begin with actually convincing the world's best cybersecurity professionals that have had a QA background. Actually going into code to find security vulnerabilities is a very unique skill set as compared to people who are engineering and writing code. So I'd say the biggest problem actually is incentivizing highly qualified ethical hackers to focus on the cryptocurrency industry. And in the cryptocurrency world, we have newer programming languages such as Solidity and now Move, which are completely new programming languages that someone from the traditional OPSEC, InfoSec, cybersecurity world has to actually have the incentive to learn that language and then be a security professional within this new realm.
So Hartej, with the new languages that you're discussing, are there advantages to using the newer ones versus the traditional ones that many developers have utilized?
So I would say that, so the most common used language for Ethereum, which is the second most common found cryptocurrency, is called Solidity. And Solidity was designed for smart contract programming, but it does have some significant flaws. More recently, we have a programming language invented by Sam Blackshear, who is the CTO of a new blockchain called SWI, Miston Labs, who is a former member of the Facebook blockchain team, Libra DM. And at DM, they invented a programming language called Move, M-O-V-E. And Move is actually the first programming language designed for smart contract programming. And so we're very bullish on this new language Move. And there is significant advantages to using this language Move to write software in Web3 and in blockchain. And for the first time ever, there is an advantage of using this language to build in the Web3 space.
Right. So what are the solutions that Zokyo is providing to advance this?
So from Zokyo's side, we have upskilled our entire team to be able to both secure any code written in the Move programming language, in addition to actually engineering smart contracts and code in the Move programming language. We do this both for Rust and Solidity as well, which today are the most commonly found programming languages in Web3. However, Move is rapidly growing, primarily right now due to the two layer one blockchains, Aptos and SWI, which have they've both raised around $350 million from the biggest Silicon Valley VCs.
Talk to me about token economics. What does that look like for you?
So we have 3 members of our team that are very quantitative, and they focus on designing and reviewing token economic models. And we've also built proprietary software to compare and contrast each token economic model to similar comparisons and similar competitors in the market. And it's very essential to use a mix of game theory and mathematics to adequately design the function of a token within a token economy.
It's interesting, Hartej, and I love asking people who are within your space. Is your background, have you always thought about wanting to be in Web3 and blockchain and the cryptocurrency side, or do you have more of a comp sci physics background? How did you get into this?
I actually have a finance background. I was in investment banking, followed by, I dove headfirst into the startup world, and I moved to Silicon Valley and I began working in the fintech space. I was mostly focused on mobile point of sale and integrating into legacy point of sales. I got into this because I learned about Bitcoin while living in Las Vegas, selling my mobile point of sale system. I stumbled into running the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup, which turned into the biggest cryptocurrency meetup in Las Vegas. And in 2016, I wanted to find a way to sell shovels to this industry without diving fully in and launching my own token or my own blockchain. I decided that I would sell shovels to these gold diggers, and I would secure the smart contracts by conducting audits on all these new tokens that are being made. Between 2016 and 18, we audited more ICO tokens than anyone else in the world and built up a team to 40 people in Las Vegas. And fast forward to today, we're actually in 18 different countries, have about 33 people on the team, and we're extremely remote first.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting to hear how these come together, particularly because your space is relatively new to traditional finance and investment banking. So to wrap up here, Hartej, what does the near-term future for Web3 look like?
Rapid growth, lots of building. At the current moment, we are facing some very tricky times with US regulation. There has been an attack on crypto in the United States, you can say. There is no bank account that you can have in the United States for a crypto company ever since Signature and SVB have fallen. But I do have hope. Web3 is extremely nascent, but as an industry, this space has been growing 100 to 150% year over year. And there is not a lot of industries in the world that are growing at such rapid rates, and this rate of growth will continue. And fundamentally, as an asset class, well, Bitcoin continues to be the best performing asset of any asset throughout the last decade. Right. And this trend will continue.
Let's talk about SVB and Signature for a moment here. There are these silver linings with this fallout that's happening. Do you think this could potentially light that fire to get the regulatory framework necessary to continue advancing crypto?
I don't personally believe that regulation is actually the answer to the growth of crypto.
So what would it be then?
It's less regulation. I think we need less government coercion. We need less government. We need less government hand in this entire space. Unfortunately, I would say that the United States has made crypto its enemy. And ever since the FTX collapse, they're trying to do whatever it takes to, if anything, harm innovation at the moment. And I don't know how this is going to play out. The fact is that the bond contagion, we don't know how far it's actually going to spread beyond SVB and Signature. There is a probable chance that this contagion of bonds actually extends to several other United States banks. We don't know if it'll go abroad yet, but at the moment, I don't think the contagion is over. I do hope that after the dust is settled, that we can find some sort of clarity so that American companies that are innovating in Web3 that are following the rules, that are filing their taxes, that want to operate within the confines of the United States are able to get a viable bank account, because the loss of SVB is a massive loss, not only for the core startup industry, but very much so for this very nascent Web3 industry that has been very much reliant on both SVB and Signature Bank as our primary bankers. Yeah. So I look forward to being able to set up more companies in the United States and safely have a bank account that is not under fear of being bank run or being shut down. We do need bank accounts still.
Right. Well, it's so interesting because whether you're for or against the regulation argument, both sides always come back to innovation, where we don't want to necessarily see that go offshore or stifle the growth trajectory that you had mentioned before with how quickly Web3 is going. So we appreciate that insight, Hartej. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you so much, Jill.